Had a wonderful week so far here in Los Angeles. The Tournament of Roses has been excellent hosts, and we've been really appreciate them bringing the Ohio weather here to Southern California here too. So we've been felt right at home with some of the weather the last couple of days, but we saw the sun out today, so we're excited to get back out in the field and have a great day of preparation. It's been a great opportunity for our guys over the last month to really practice, for the young guys to build some momentum as we head into this game, and then obviously into the off season of next year. And then for our older guys, really want to finish this season the right way. So so far it's been a really excellent week of preparation. Our guys have been practicing hard and looking forward to the game.
Yeah, to echo what Coach Day said, we're elated to be here. Rose Bowl committee has done a terrific job. Obviously, they've been doing this a long time, and it's been a great week. Our kids have really enjoyed it. We've been working a long time to get here. We got in the league 11 years ago in the Pac-12 into Power 5 football, and it's been a long, hard journey, but our guys got it done this year, and this is what we've been shooting for, like I said, for a lot of years. And so we're excited about the opportunity to play Ohio State. Great football team, great program, steeped in tradition. Just one of the top programs in the country year after year. And so our guys are excited, and hopefully we get a great game on Saturday.
All right, we're going to go to questions here. We'll start down here on the left.
That's questions for Coach Day. This is Austin Ward from Letterman Row. Ryan, when you look at the injuries and opt-outs and everything else with your roster right now, is the size, are you comfortable with that going into a game tomorrow?
Yeah, I think certainly we've had our adversity over the last month, but what a great opportunity for some of our younger guys to come in and start this thing off the right way. Certainly at receiver, that's going to be a great opportunity for them. And we've talked about it before. There's a good portion of this team that'll be coming back next year. So what a great opportunity for them to play in this game, and certainly against a very, very good team in Utah. I mean, the way that they played down the stretch and how they've played together and playing complementary football, and certainly a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Whittingham and what he's done with not only in his career, but certainly this year with this team and all the things that they've been through. So it's a big challenge for our guys, and what a great opportunity for them at the end of the year. Really two things: for the younger guys to build momentum, but for the older guys to end this thing the right way. And but no, to answer your question, we feel like we got plenty.
All right, we're going to stay here on the left side.
Ryan Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch. After 5 weeks of listening to what happened at Michigan and the finesse versus force, that whole idea, do you sense there's a chip on the shoulder of your team? And in 5 weeks, is that enough time to improve on the things that maybe happened in that game?
We'll find out. I mean, that's obviously, it doesn't take an expert to figure out what we need to do, really focus on here over the last month. And I think that the practices have been really good. They've been spirited. They've been physical. There's been a lot of progress made, but the ultimate test will be on Saturday.
All right, there's a question in the back there.
Paul Keels from WBNS Radio. Kyle, if you would, talk a little bit about Ohio State's team and what they do that concerns you the most.
Everything. I mean, their offense is terrific. Outstanding players across the board. One of the most explosive offenses in the country. Quarterback is tremendous, leading the nation in QB rating, which the statistical analytic by ESPN, which in my opinion is the most accurate barometer of how your guy is playing. Solid on defense. Just like I said, no weakness. I mean, they got players at every level, and they play hard, and they're well coached.
All right, we're going to go back to the left side in the front here.
Ryan, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch. Chris, you said on Monday it opted out of the game, but it's continued to practice this week. Is there any chance at the last minute he would have a change of heart about this game?
I don't think so, but certainly we would be excited if he did. I just have so much respect for what Chris did coming back this year. He certainly had an opportunity to be, possibly, end of the first day, early second day pick coming out of last year. He decided to come back and really did a great job in leading, and then didn't want to leave the team. Wanted to stick with it through the bowl and practice and be around our players and our guys, and that meant a lot to him, certainly being from Southern California. So I don't expect that to happen, but you never know.
All to the middle section, third row.
Kyle, when you consider Covey and what he's done during his career, is there a moment or a game, is there anything that stands out to you more than everything else?
Not really, just his consistent leadership that he's brought to the football team. His attitude, his personality is just infectious amongst his teammates. One of the best leaders that's ever come through the University of Utah. Tremendous player, obviously, on the field as well. I mean, he's done so much for us as a slot receiver, as a punt returner, kickoff returner. And so he's just meant so much to our program for the last 12 years, or however long he's been here. And we're excited that he's got one more chance to play with him again this weekend.
All right, second row on the left.
Ryan, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch. There were several guys who didn't practice. I know the availability report's coming out, but could you give any kind of update on Seven Banks, Antoine Jackson, Marcus Williamson, Cody Simon, anyone else that might be missing?
Yeah, there's a few guys in there that are sort of game time decisions. And instead of getting into all of those guys, we'll handle it with the availability report. And some of those guys will be game time decisions, as it comes through towards the end of the week and closer to the game.
All right, front row on the far right.
Tim May, Letterman Row. Ryan, just the receivers, the young receivers in particular, who's kind of jumped out at you this month? And the fact that they know they're going to play and play a big role, how has that changed maybe even their practice habits, et cetera?
Well, I think they've all been practicing well and hard all year. When you look at Julian and Marvin, Emeka, certainly Jackson's had a tremendous year. But those guys in particular, I think I talked to Marvin about it the other day. When you think about Chris's freshman year, nothing really happened until that last game against the team up north, and he had 2 touchdowns and block punt, and all of a sudden his career took off. And so, and I mentioned to both of those guys that's kind of happened that way in the receiver position. You think about Garrett Wilson, same thing. His freshman year, he kind of popped it in that last game, and then went on and played pretty well in the Clemson game. So they've really worked hard this year. I think they're both very mature, but Julian Fleming also now has an opportunity. He's played some before, and they've practiced well. What we see in practice is not what everybody else sees. So, they were behind 2 very, very good receivers, and so now it's time for them to step up and play. They came here for a reason, and what a great opportunity and a great opponent to do it against.
All right, we'll go all the way to the back far left corner.
Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated. A question for both coaches and Coach Whittingham. Why don't we start with you? I've talked to a number of players on both teams this week who have made comments that maybe they didn't watch the Rose Bowl growing up, and that it wasn't part of their New Year's Day, repertoire. I'm curious how you guys have gone about, teaching the history of this game to your team and getting them to understand just how important and historic an opportunity to play in the Rose Bowl is.
Yeah, well, just from our perspective, I think our guys, most of them get it and understand the history of this game and being the granddaddy of them all and all that goes with it. I grew up down here for 14 years of my life, so I was certainly been aware of the Rose Bowl and its importance since day one. But we've had conversation about the tradition and what it means to be in this game and how long this game's been around and the whole 9 yards. And so I feel like our guys are pretty well versed and up to speed on the magnitude of the football game.
And we have a certain a percentage of our team that played in this game 3 years ago, so they know, and they talk to their teammates, and they understand it. And I think the thing that's more significant is that there's 2 years of guys who haven't really been through a bowl experience before on our team just because of last year and the way things played out. So going through this process has been great for them, and they've really enjoyed their time here, and they understand how big of a game this is.
We have a question in the second row on the right.
Josh Brown, KSL.com. Kyle, you talked about this has been a long road for you to be able to get here. Was there a turning point maybe this year or any other years that you could say that kind of allowed you to feel like this was actually a possibility?
No, I don't think there's any one particular turning point. It's just been a steady improvement in recruiting, and that's what college football is all about. It's all about recruiting and personnel. And when we got in the league, we had some deficiencies, particularly on the perimeter in the skill positions. We weren't quite as athletic and fast as the other teams. We felt like we matched up at the line of scrimmage. That's been since day one. But it's taken us some time to steadily improve that roster year after year. We got to the Pac-12 championship game 3 of the last 4 years, finally got over that hump this year and was able to break into the Rose Bowl. And so, it's just been a process. It's been a steady process. There was no one moment in time that made the tables turn. We just kept at it. A great tribute and credit to our assistant coaches. They're the guys out on the front lines in recruiting, identifying the talent, and bringing the right guys to the table. And I just give them all the credit. They've done a great job of assembling this roster and finally made it. So that's where we're at.
All right, in the back row in the center section.
Kyle, Matt Andrews, WBNS Radio. After a 1-2 start, a couple back-to-back losses, what were some of the key turning points for your team this year?
Well, first of all, the change in quarterback. It was game 3, a little past midway point in the fourth quarter. We were down big to San Diego State. Thought we needed a spark, made the change, put Cam Rising in the game, provided that spark immediately. Brought us all the way back to triple overtime. We ended up obviously losing the game, but it was very apparent that he was what we needed. He proceeded to start the rest of the season and just got better and better as the weeks went on. You combine that with the offensive line struggled early in the year offensive line-wise. Once we got that position settled in, or that group of 5 settled in and playing well together, that certainly helped our cause. And then the emergence of Tavion Thomas, our running back, that was huge. We had some fumble issues early in the season, but he got the ball security situation fixed, and then once he started getting some momentum, that made us a lot more physical in the run game. And then defensively overall, we have a lot of freshmen that start. I think we have 8 or 9 on the field at a time, during some portions of the game. And just to watch those guys grow up and get better and better week after week, that was probably the other thing that allowed us to finish the way we did.
All right, we're going to stay in the middle section, just one row forward here.
Eric Lampkins, the second Culver City Observer. This is for both coaches. Coach Day, starting with you. Excuse me. How has your conference prepared you for the team that you're going to be facing tomorrow?
Well, in the Big Ten, certainly the last 6 games, that last 6 games was a strong run. We had to bring it every week, and I do think that Utah is similar to some of the teams that do play in the Big Ten. They line up with several tight ends. They have different ways to attack you, but they want to run the ball, control the game, play complementary football, play excellent on defense, don't give up big plays. And so, I just think that our conference, week in and week out, you have to bring it. And so, I think that it prepares, all the teams in our conference to play well. Just looking at how things have gone the last couple of weeks, the Big Ten's played well in conference play, and I think that's just because of the high level of play in our conference.
Same question for me then? Okay, well, we pride ourselves on being a physical team. That's one of our starting points for our program is physicality and preaching it, recruiting to it. And so we feel like the Big Ten obviously is a physical conference, and so we feel like whenever we play teams from either the Pac-12 or other conferences, we do match up well at the line of scrimmage, as I mentioned earlier, and that's where it all starts. I mean, if you can match up on both sides of the line of scrimmage, you always have a chance, and we feel that that's been a strength of ours for a lot of years.
All right, we'll go to the far left here from.
For Coach Day, question for you. Obviously, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave are obviously going to be absent here. What kind of coaching has been put in for Jackson Smith-Njigba just to understand that it's not going to be the same as it has been for him, and quite possibly could face some double teams, could get frustrated if he's not getting the football and have to fight through a lot of contact? Just what kind of coaching have you guys put with him to say you're going to have to go extra, work extra hard to get open, et cetera, to make plays in this game?
Well, I think we've actually done just the opposite of that. He believes in his teammates and he relies on his teammates. And I think, in situations like that, if you try to do too much, you can get yourself out of whack and you can get yourself frustrated. He just needs to do what he's done all year, which is play within himself and believe in the guys around him. We have a really good running game, and Trey and Mayan and the guys of Master. He's got really good, talented running back crowd there, and then obviously at receiver, you got to believe in the guys that are in your room. Certainly Ruckert and Mitch and Cade and those guys at receiver had a really good bowl practice. So he's got to believe in the guys around him, and CJ just has to take what's there. You can't just get and we've never done that before, where you just kind of pick one receiver out and throw it. You're going to take what the defense gives you. So, Jackson's had a very good preparation to this bowl, and I expect him to play well.
All right, we're going to go to the far right front row.
Tim May, Letterman Row again. For both of you guys, I was wondering if you've had a relationship with Urban Meyer in your past and your coaching. What is something that still resonates with you, maybe one thing that you still take from that relationship one way or the other? I've got another question for Ryan Day after that.
Okay, well, first of all, I had an opportunity to work for 2 years under Coach Meyer. I was his defensive coordinator. And it was kind of a weird situation. I had been at the university, 7 or 8 years. Our head coach was let go. I thought I should be the guy. Urban got the job. Turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me as a football coach, because after 2 years with him, I realized that I wasn't ready 2 years prior, and it was a great learning experience. I would say the one thing, if you had to peg it now, or pinpoint one thing, I would say his complete organization of the entire program, just on a day-to-day basis, mapping out, the entire year. Nothing was left to chance. Everything was organized meticulously, and that really is the thing that I took away, is just how he day-to-day ran the football program, just from an organizational standpoint.
Yeah, I would echo what Kyle said, and I thought very unique that Coach and I both, were handed the whistle after the game and took over for Coach, and I would agree with him. Just the overall organization of the whole program, certainly in recruiting and the way he drives the coaches and drives recruiting on a daily basis, and has a great feel for the team and what the team needs at that moment, and motivation. I think were the things that I took the most from him.
Real quick follow-up for both of you. Are you both of you surprised the way things went this year for him? I mean, what do you think didn't resonate that resonated with you guys?
Well, he is one heck of a football coach. I got all the respect in the world for him. Owe him a lot. What any success we've had since he's been gone is a lot of it attributed to him, and so I can't speak for what went on there. It just seemed to snowball and kind of get away from him. But he is a terrific football coach, and that's pretty much what I have to say about that.
Yeah, and I'll echo again what Kyle said there.
And Ryan, obviously middle of the defensive line, Haskell's skipping the game. Antoine Jackson, I don't know if he's going to be available or not. Doesn't appear to be. But just how have you challenged those other guys in the middle, like Jerron Cage, Tyleek Williams, et cetera, about the challenges coming?
Well, like any game, but very important for a lot of reasons in this game, certainly how physical Utah plays. The challenge has been set forth to win up front and to be physical in this game. That's nothing new. That's not groundbreaking, but it certainly has been an emphasis and always is an emphasis. But yeah, we are down a couple guys, but we have plenty of guys in there. And so for the coaches, the leaders, and the players, the challenge has been set forth, and now it's time to go put it on the field on Saturday.
All right, we'll move to the left side here, second last row.
Ryan, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com. Obviously, in the midst of bowl preparation, you also hired another member for your staff. In the process of any of this, did you talk to Jim Knowles about this matchup, have him look at anything, just a phone call, a text, anything like that? And additionally, how did you sort of use this last stretch, I guess, as like a staff evaluation period or staff development period? And what did you want to see maybe from your coaches as far as preparing for this game?
Well, yeah, decided that with Jim, this is just going to be something that we start after the bowl game, and kind of inappropriate, I think, to even have any type of input coming from the outside. You just don't know the situation. You don't know the scheme up to that point. There's just a lot of things when you step into a situation that is very difficult. So we just decided that we'll start fresh on the second, and still trying to figure out what that mix of guys is going to be moving forward, and that's going to be important for our team. But our job is to put our guys in environment to be the most successful, and that's my job, is to do that and surround them with that. So that's what we'll do here.
All right, we'll stay on the left side here in the
Jacob Benj with the Lantern. Ryan, we've talked with a lot of your players this week, and they mentioned how they want to end the season on the right note. They want to get that bad taste out of their mouth, per se. How important would it be to you and Ohio State to play well in the Rose Bowl and end the season on the right note, like they mentioned?
Right, very, very important. And, we said there was three things we want to do when we got here. One is to win the Rose Bowl, and that's the first thing. That was our first goal. Second thing is to represent Ohio State in a first-class manner, and the third thing is to enjoy this week. And we've done that. I think the guys have enjoyed it. It's the first time in a couple years we've been able to enjoy a bowl week, and there's a reward for that. A lot of hard work's been put in. And so winning this game would be important for those two reasons I mentioned before. One, for the older guys, send them off the right way, like you mentioned. 11-2 with a Rose Bowl win would be a big deal. And then secondly, for the young guys, building momentum, some guys who are now going to have to step up in this game into the offseason into next year.
We have a question on the right side.
Kyle, they're bringing the moment of loudness to the Rose Bowl. What does that moment mean for you and your team every time it comes on?
Yeah, well, it's been incredible. We've had that at our stadium all season long, then we had it in the championship game. And to be able to honor our two players that we lost in that fashion has been terrific. I get choked up every time I go through it and experience it. And it's just a great way to keep their memory alive. Our team is excited about it and really looks forward to it. And so I'm glad that we were able to bring that to the Rose Bowl, because I guess there was some question whether or not we were going to be able to do that, but thankful that we're able to implement that one more time, at least one more time this season. Keep it on.
Up front here on the left.
Yeah, Coach. Steve Hellwagon again with Bucknuts at 24/7. My question, just the raw numbers here, as we understand it, Ohio State sold 13,000 tickets and Utah sold well over 30,000, and whatever the balance is going to be, just it seems like you're walking into a little bit of a hornet's nest here potentially tomorrow. Just what have you guys talked about dealing with noise? I mean, it could be, instead of a typical neutral site where it's 50-50, it may be hard for you guys to get your signals. I don't know. What are you guys thinking about in terms of that?
Yeah, we've said that we have to prepare for everything. When you come on a bowl trip like this, you're not sure what that's going to be like, and so we said we have to prepare for everything. Whether it's 50-50 or in our favor, or it's like being on the road. And so we'll do the best we can, and we've prepared for all of those scenarios.
We'll stay on the left side here, second row.
Bill Rabinowitz again in the Columbus Dispatch. Ryan, could you address, and Kyle too, I guess, your COVID situation? Have you had any cases? Is that going to affect anything with this game?
Very typical to what this season, and really probably the last couple months has been. There's been a few isolated incidents here and there, but we feel strong going into the game that we'll have a full roster ready to go.
Did you say Bucknuts? Was that the last one? That's awesome. All right.
It's one of about 15 coaches.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
They keep going.
Great. COVID, no issues, knock on wood. We seem to be in really good shape there.
We have time for a few more questions if you want to raise your hand if you have any. Let's go to the far right side here, front row.
Yeah, Ryan, C.J. Stroud, before he was a Heisman Trophy finalist and after, have you seen any change in him? What has been the biggest change that you've liked in him through the season up to now? Basically asserting himself as a leader, et cetera. But what have you seen just sort of like changing him as this year's gone along?
I could probably talk on that for a while. You're talking about somebody who went into the season without throwing a college football pass, playing in a road game at Minnesota. Everything was a first for him, and as he went along, had to deal with his first interception, first loss, first win, and then as season went on, he built and got stronger and stronger, and then certainly over the last month, you could see just even more of a maturity and a different look in his eye coming off of the last game. So it's going to be fun to see where it goes from here, but certainly I think he is in a different place than he was certainly a month ago, and obviously 3 and 4 months ago.
We'll go to the middle section here, third row.
Dan Hope from 11 Warriors for Ryan. It looks like, Cody Simon's been out for you guys. Cade Stover's been getting in some work at linebacker. Just where do you feel about that linebacker situation going into this game, and what kind of role could Cade potentially play at that position?
Yeah, we've had Cade kind of going on both sides to try to help us out. As you know, Cade came over from linebacker, and so we've been a little bit light there going into the bowl practice. We feel a little bit better about the depth now, but yeah, I mean, Cade's prepared to play in this game. He's been excited. I think he's done a very, very good job in bowl practice of bringing an edge and bringing a toughness over there. So I know he's excited about it. He's fired up. So we'll kind of see how it goes on Saturday.
All right, we're going to go to the right side, second row.
Trevor on KSL Sports. Kyle, seeing that, some of your guys, Devin Lloyd, Nick Ford, some Southern California guys playing their last game in this Rose Bowl, what does that mean to you to see them go out in this way to play their last game in the Rose Bowl?
Well, first of all, we're elated that they're playing. Devin's a first-round pick, maybe a top 10 pick, and for him to want to finish with his teammates and see it through and complete the season, I think that's awesome. And Nick is also a draft choice potential, and so to have them both with us is big positive. It would be great to see them have success here in their last game down here in their home turf. And, just to echo what Coach Day's been saying, we too would like to send the seniors out the right way and the upperclassmen that are going to be leaving. We have several juniors that will be leaving us this year, and that's important. And we're doing everything working towards that end to see if we can make that happen.
All righty, one last question. We're going to go to the far back left corner.
Question for Coach Day. Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now again. Coach, you mentioned that this is a week where you've been able to enjoy the bowl experience because the last couple of years maybe you're more focused on the fact that it was a playoff game. How have you been able to kind of manage your time this week, balancing the celebration that this week is with recognizing that this can also be the first step toward what you're hoping to accomplish next year?
Well, I think even more importantly, just last year not having the week to be at the site, I think is significant. But I think that's why you work so hard back home. You put the game plan in, and that's the way we do it. We'll go through the whole game plan back in Columbus so that when we get here, it's like repainting the bridge so that we can, enjoy and smell the roses, for lack of a better term, and enjoy where we're at in the bowl site. And, for a lot of our guys, they have not been here to Los Angeles. They haven't been to Southern California. This will be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play in the Rose Bowl. So those are all the things that, you don't always get an opportunity to do, when you're so stressed out about the game. But I think it's important for our guys to do that because they work so hard, and these are the type of things that they're getting rewarded with. They should be able to enjoy.
All right, well, thank you, coaches. If we could have you stand on either side of the trophy there for the photo opportunity. We're going to ask everybody to please stay down in the front so that the cameras in the back can get their shot first.
Yeah.
All right, if everybody's good in the back, we can have the photographers. If you need to stand up in the front, you can go ahead. All right, thanks, guys. If we can have everybody stay seated for now until the coaches get out, that would be great. I'll do it.